Hey everyone. So, what I wanted to talk about today was French classic or French Baroque ballet from the perspective of an organist composer who studied ballet for 5 years and who also studied Taekwondo for 4 years. I love playing French classic organ music. So, things such as the Clarimbo suites or French Noel variations by composers such as Deccan and Balbatre. So I found it natural to start out with France because I should also mention I'm also French too. One of my grandparents, my maternal grandfather, was partially French. The concept of French Baroque or French classic ballet is frequently associated with Louis XIV and Jean-Baptiste Lully and their idea of ballet de la nuit, which was Louis functioning as the Sun King, the sun that would set at night at the beginning, and the sun that would rise at dawn in the morning. So I did a thought exercise when I found the score. I finally went to IMSLIP or IMSLP and downloaded Triomphe de L'Amour. One of the things that I was curious about as an organist composer was, would this make a good transcription? Fortunately, it did. And how I transcribed it, I used the same manner of transcription as found in a piece such as Couperin's Les Concerts Royaux, which the only things that are written out are the melody and the bass line. I did the same thing when I transcribed Apollo's Entrance for solo keyboard. I just wrote the melody and the bass line out. No middle voices. And when I went to play it on the piano, wow, I was just amazed how well it worked. Then I also decided earlier to look at some of the choreography, and here's what I found with it. The choreography compared to a ballet by someone such as Tchaikovsky, Debil, or Minkus, the dancer moves more horizontally, like this, across the stage, as opposed to jumping up and down and doing tour jetés like whoop, 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 whoop. And what's beneficial about that is that it's more to the ground. And ironically, when I watched the footwork, I found it very similar to organ pedaling. Extremely similar. One thing I will mention is if you do a targeted search for Apollo's Entrance or L'Entrée de Apollon in YouTube, what you will find if you look in the search for L'Entrée de Apollon by Lully, there is a video of it being performed with a chamber orchestra in continuo and with a Danseur performing the role of Apollo. And it's great that they have a continuo in this version. The version you want to look up is with Anton, that's the first name, Anton Dorofeev. Dorofeev, it's Dorofeev. And they use a pipe organ and a chamber ensemble. Now, there was a thought experiment that I also did. I pre-recorded the piece with me playing the Couperin influenced transcription on the piano. And what I did was, after I did a bar routine, I decided to use the Lully as a floor routine and to see if I could actually dance to it and have more horizontal movement to it. I found it to be more idiomatic and it was easier to move to, because rather than having a boom chick boom chick boom chick accompaniment that you see in composers such as Minkus or Debiel or Tchaikovsky, and the accompaniment in the case of Lully is a little bit more sustained, and the rhythm is pronounced more in the melody line. What I found with that, it was easier to move to and easier to go across the floor. All my movement was mostly horizontal. And I found that to be more idiomatic, and my question is, am I open to looking at other movements from Triomphe de L'Amour in terms of writing a Couperin-style transcription? And yes, I'm open to that, and I'm also open to using them as test drives for floor work to see how I find it is to move to them. Because with this particular movement, I found it very easy to move to, particularly because the melody has a lot of gestures and a lot of sequences. And in the second half of the entrance of Apollo, I found that one of the fun things to do was do a tendu with my hand, do a tendu with another hand, especially where Lully was doing the sequences down or up. That was really fun to do and very idiomatic. And when I performed it, it was almost kind of a procession or march. Because one thing I should mention is, with a lot of 17th century ballet choreography, it's up in the air. It's very up in the air, no matter who you talk to. I was actually watching a documentary from the BBC on ballet of King Louis XIV, and one of the things they had said about the dance movement of that particular time period is that you only can find some movement, some directions of movement, but it's mostly associated with Apollo's entrance. So thank you, and take care, and see you when I discuss Meredith Monk and Dalcroze.